Valve a split there. So yeah, we are about knackered. Hey up, shaggers. Well, we are back, and I am relieved to say the less. So yeah, we've just been on holiday. I've been away for about 2 weeks with the kids and my family and everything like that. Now, holidays are supposed to be relaxing. It's been absolutely anything but relaxing. So no, I am glad to get back to work, just for a bit of calm, really. Now, it's not all good news, no, because since I've been away, my car has been vandalised. Look at bloody this. Look at that, look. A gang of rogue pigeons has, well, they've just absolutely defamated all over it, haven't they? Now, I don't think that's a coincidence. I think that is a genuine hit, you know what I mean? No chance does that much poo accumulate unless I've upset them personally, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm going to have to get this all cleaned off today at some point, but also I'm desperate to do big brake pads on it. I'm not sure if you can hear. But yeah, we're sounding like a metal on metal. Now, it was getting a little bit bad before I sort of went away. But, well, I used the old approach of turning the radio up. And that seemed to cure it for the time being, you know what I mean? But anyway, let's get today started and let's see what mayhem we get in today. Now, like I say, it's been about 2 weeks since I've been here. It looks like they've been busy. Yeah, there's a fair few scraps accumulate there. Now, there was another lad off as well, so he has literally been on skeleton staff while I've been gone. So, yeah, I think there's going to be a bit of work to be catching up with today. But, yeah, now, let's get them doors open. Oh, and there she is, look. The old workhorse. Now, as you can see, I remember doing that last job and fuel was running low, and it's still extremely low, isn't it? Now, not only that, but since I've been away, because of all this bloody Iran and yeah, everything that's going on through there, well, our fuel station that we normally use has just stopped selling fuel, so I need to find out where the hell I'm going to fill up today. But that's a challenge we can cross in due time, isn't it? At the minute, we're going to get settled in, we're going to catch up with the boys, and yeah, we're going to see what we've sort of got planned for today. Right, so I initially said I was excited to be back. That excitement's now turned to dread. So we've got one, like I said, about the fuel. So we haven't got a new fuel supplier, so I'm going to have to pay on my card, and then apparently he's going to give me the money back, which I think's bollocks, but there we go. Also, we have absolutely no lubricant to take tyres off. I have got a dribble of Penol in one of my tins, and that is literally it. So I've got my first job on, which is quite a big girl, 650 something by 30. So it's going to come with its own challenges, and how I'm going to get it off and how I'm going to get it on is I don't know. But yeah, we need to go and get some fermented fossil juice for me van anyway, and which I'm paying for apparently, and then we'll get going and we'll see what we can sort out today. But it's going to be one of them bloody days, isn't it? Right, well, this morning's just going from bloody bad to worse, to be honest with you. So yeah, I've just had to go and fill the van up. £127 of my own money, which I didn't really have to spend on fuel for a company that I work for, you know what I mean? However, that's so is life, isn't it? Now, I've just turned up to the first one, and I've been given the complete wrong size. So I bought a 600 whatever something tube, which works out as a 23.130, and this is a 540 65 30. So the tube I've brought is just far too big. So we're gonna have to see what we can sort out with this one and go from there. But I thought I was excited to get back. No, reality's starting to step in now, isn't it? As you can see, it's in a bit of a sorry state, isn't it? I'll have to whip it up, I'll have to see what we can do with this old tube, and I'll have to see if we can just mend it up, because like I say, that one I brought is just going to be far too big, isn't it? Oh, I don't want to do this. And just to make matters slightly worse, I've left my van in a complete monstrosity. I have no time to sort it out, so I'm going to have to live with this today, I think, aren't I? Which again, is just marvellous, isn't it? I promise you, I'm happier than I sound. So I'm hoping this tube's going to be in a repairable state, otherwise we are about stuffed. Well, it's going up anyway, that's at least some good news. This is coming out fairly quick though. Right, let's get this jacked up before it goes down again. It doesn't look very well, I'll show you in a second, but this inside sidewall looks absolutely jiggered. There's that one there, look. There's that one there, look. And there could be many others that I've just not seen yet. So, no, it's going to be our first job. It's going to be a bloody pain in the bloody arse, isn't it? Yeah, we'll get going. Hello. How are we doing? Well, it's the wrong size still. 540, 65, 30. So, I'm already being rushed. I've been here about 5 minutes and asking how I'm getting on. So yeah, anyway, they've got me another job on after this, which is coincidentally exactly the same size, but the gaffer's going to come down and bring the right size tube down for me for this. So at least we'll get this one sorted one way or another. That's the wrong sort of lube really to be taking this off, but it's coming. There we go. Hey, I tell you what, like riding a bike, isn't it? You never forget. So at least that's off. Right, let's get this arse end broke. There we go, she's gone. That's flat, that is though, so something's gone on. Valve split. Valve a split there. So yeah, we are about knackered with that tube. You can carry like a replacement valve patch, but with that size tube it's probably not worth it. Alright, let me have a look at this bloody tyre, because this looks like it's in a state. Okay, so it's not as bad. Do you know what? I vaguely remember doing this tractor at the side of the road about 2 years ago. The actual inside of the tyre is nowhere near as bad as I thought it was going to be. Like I said, I vaguely remember doing this one at the side of the road. That big split what I've seen from the outside, well, that's already been patched, and I think I did that one many years ago. And it's still going strong. It's good workmanship, that is, isn't it? Like I say, you can get like a replacement valve sort of patch. However, with the gaffer on the way with a new tube, I'm not messing about with that. So we'll chill out here for 5 minutes. We'll wait for a new tube, we'll chuck that in, we'll get this one ticked off, and then we'll go to the next job, get that one sorted, and we'll go from there, won't we? Bloody Mondays, eh? Oh, well, it was the gaffer himself that's just dropped it off, so you'd hope it'll be the right size. So, but anyway, this one, I've had a quick look, this valve looks a lot more intact, so we'll get this tube fired in quick. Like I say, I've got one exactly the same size to go and tackle about 2 miles away from here, so we'll go and sort that out after. Ah, we best have in, haven't we? Now, normally, if we can get away without running a tube, we try and get away without running a tube. However, this one's obviously got a tube in for a reason. With them splits on the sidewall, you'd say that it's, even though they're patched up, you'd say that it's porous, which is why there's a tube in. So, we'll get another one fired in. Tube's in, we'll get it built up. Now again, with it having a tube, you do have to be slightly more careful fitting them, otherwise exactly what's happened to that one happens. You end up ripping the valve off, and with the valve being right at the bottom, well, sometimes it can make it fit a little bit harder work to get them fit up, but there's a way. So we'll shift this tyre up. Normally I tend to start about there. If it's tubeless, I always tend to start about there. However, because we've got a tube, you want the last bit to pop on at the valve, otherwise it tends ripping. So we'll chuck it about there. What do we know then? He's doing typical Trelleborg things. He's splitting up like fuck on inside sidewall. Is this the one I went to go? I thought it was. Yeah, that's a while ago, isn't it now? Let's see if I can remember what to do. Now, like I say, I normally don't like fitting them like this because it makes my life slightly harder work. But we are going on. Oh, we were going on. Alright, we'll try and get that to drop back into the well. Like that. I tell you what, it's bloody warming up. I thought it was going to be a bit goady today, but I'm sweating. Alright, well, we're about there. And like I say, last bit pop on should be on that valve, and we're heading for the right way. And it just means you're not putting any pressure on that then, you see. Alright, get in you. There we go. We'll get it pumped up and we'll see if we won, shall we? Right, it's starting to puff out its cheeks. So, yeah, you'd say we're doing alright at the minute. Yeah, we're getting a bit of pressure in there now. I'll just quickly have a dip at this other side and see what that... I mean, this one's still tubeless. So, yeah, no, something's gone drastically wrong with that other one. He's more than likely definitely that split, isn't it? This one's running about 20, so we'll stick something similar in, shall we? I've lost that bloody valve cap though. Well, it's on, jack's out, it's up to pressure, and can you hear that? No, me neither, which is it's a good thing. If it's whispering windy melodies to you, it means that something's gone amiss. But no, like a 50s housewife, that is completely silent. Yeah, we'll get this ticket dropped off and we'll go in there. And we'll go and carry on elsewhere. Back on the road. Well, not back on the road yet. I'm on a public. I'm not on a public. I'm on a private driveway. Hence why there's no seatbelt, and hence why I'm holding a camera, because the law can't touch me. But anyway, yeah. So it's about 2 miles. This other job is. So we're going to have a look at that. So we're here. I'm just navigating my way around some very expensive bits of kit at the minute. I'll tell you what, they have got some bloody tackle here. It's like a. I'm not even a tractor boy, you know what I mean? But you get the fizz, don't you? Especially around John Deere's. I know I've had shit saying that before. But now this one, well, it's a John Deere anyway, and it looks suspiciously soft rather than flat. Without even putting water on, I'm going to put my left bollock on the fact that it's probably going to be a rim leak. But we'll soon see, won't we? So yeah, we'll get some wind fired into it. And we'll see what we can sort out with this one. Now, this is an air water valve, however, it's a really, really shitey rubber one. Now, they do work, but they perish up and they do leak around there. They're not made for the job, to be honest with you. The ones we all use, like the brass all the way down, in which case they're not going to perish, are they? But that is definitely a culprit. So what we'll do is we'll get some wind in, we'll check the rim, we'll check the valve. They're going to be the first points of call. And then if neither of them are leaking, we'll go around the tyre and we'll see what else we can see. But I've got a feeling it's either going to be that or the rim. Right, so that's looking in a slightly happier state than when I first got here. So we'll chuck some juice on. So far the valve seems alright. However, if I check the rim, well, at the minute it's giving me absolutely nothing. Well, that's showing me absolutely all of nothing. I'll eat my words. Like I say, normally with these John Deeres, it tends to be the rim. However, I stand corrected. It doesn't seem to be the rim on this one, and I can't see anything in the tread that's leaking. So we're a little bit clutching at straws. So what we'll do is we'll get it airborne. We'll get a bit more water splashed on, and we'll see if we can find anything that way. Failing that, we'll whip the tyre off. We'll see if we can see anything on the inside, and hopefully we can. Because otherwise we start going down the tube route, and with that being a brand new Michelin, I don't want to do that. One thing about John Deere's, I've almost certainly spoke about this before, is they don't know what a straight bloody axle is. Everything seems to be on the bloody twist. So jacking them up can be a little bit unpleasant. And this one's no different really. So although that probably looks flat on camera, it's sloping down like that. So you can't go on this bit because it would have spit the jack out. So you've got to pick a corner out for the best really. And that seems to have worked. Now luckily, as we all know, Jesus is my axle stands. The chances of that coming down are somewhere between slim and anorexic. I've said it now, we can hope, can't we? But yeah, we'll get this tyre off. Right, so I've had a bit more of a play with water and I still cannot see anything. So there's only one thing to do. I'm gonna have to strip it down and hopefully whatever it is that's making it look rather unhappy it just hits me across the face. You know, well, not literally hits me across the face, because that wouldn't be ideal either. But hopefully it's quite I can't talk this morning. Obvious or evident, one of them two words I was going for. We'll get this one off then, because it's a nice way. It would be a shiny rim if there wasn't a nice layer of excrement on it, but because it would be a nice rim if it was clean, we'll use a patch just so we're not scratching all this trying to get bead off. There she is, she's gone. So we've still got a little bit of a squirt left in there, which is good news. I'm not having to resort to spit just yet. I reckon by this afternoon we probably will, but that's the wrong side. There we go. Come on, be nice. There we go. We love a Michelin. Come on, you may as well bloody let go of what? Oh, what's left holding it on? It just may as well go, isn't it? But no, it's clinging on. I don't want to pull it on the jack too much because it's, well, as you've seen, it's not the most prestigiously jacked up vehicle, is it? We're going to have to go and get the old bead buster out. I say, no mercy. Straight off, I reckon. With a bit of a tickle it will be anyway. There we go, beautiful. Tell you what, it's a stomping bit of kit, this. I mentioned it before, bead buster. Now don't get me wrong, they did give me that for free. However, they've not paid me at all, well, anything to advertise it. So they've said if I like it, mention it. If I don't mention it. But I do like that, and if you're just doing your own tyres on a budget, then that is the tool for you. The Bead Buster XB550. Bloody, it's smart way to kit that. Anyway, let's have a look. Absolutely nothing. Yeah, there's not a thing in there that I can see, which, like I say, is doing me absolutely no favours. However, for some reason it looks quite perished on the inside. If you have a look in there, look, you can see it's gone, it looks like really dry, and I think that is potentially the issue. I don't think it's leaking in any one spot. I think it might be leaking from every spot, you know what I mean? Normally with the inner liners it should be, well, it shouldn't be dry like that, and it shouldn't be cracking up like that. I've had a rag round, I can't feel anything that's poking through, so I can't see it being a bloody nail or a thorn or anything like that. But like I say, I don't really like chucking tubes in these if I can avoid it. I don't know, it's about stumped me. I've just had a word and he's quite happy for me to put a tube in. However, I've dropped a bollock, I'm not going to lie, I've dropped a bollock. So, I've just seen there is a secondary valve on this. There's that one there, and also, well, it's got some like weird cap. Now, what I didn't do, I didn't check that. And that's a definite contender. So what we'll do is, for what time it takes, I'm going to quickly build it up. I'll quickly get some air in, I'll recheck that, and if it's not that, we'll go for the tube. If it is that, then I'll put a new valve in there, and in which case we're laughing. Let's give that a quick check. But yeah, he doesn't seem to be that either. So yeah, no, we'll go back to plan B, plan C, one of the plans, and we're just going to tube it. Then what we'll do is obviously, now we don't want to cut that off, but we just need to buff it down, otherwise that tube's going to be rubbing against that. But also, you don't want to just completely take it out, otherwise the tube's going to find that hole and it's just going to go through, and it'll be pretty sad times, won't it? So yeah, we'll buff that down slightly and cut that other valve out, chuck a tube in, and I'm going to get it gone. Yeah, I reckon that should about do it. Get that one sliced out. Of all the times for the jack to go, I hope it doesn't go now. We'll get this one in then. Well, that's in. That's looking all good. Right, where's my lube? We're on proper dregs now, we are. And booyakasha, wickedy wickedy whack. That's sounding like it's getting there, isn't it? No suspect whispers, which is again fantastic. So we're showing 22 that other side. We're showing 20 now, so we're not far off. And yeah, we'll get gone because I've about had enough this morning already. I'm ready for a holiday. Right, we'll leave it there for this morning anyway. I'm not sure if we'll carry on this afternoon, but I'll speak to you in a bit.